This will be just a quick video where I break down and analyze the fight. I won't go round by round analyzing every punch, I'll just tell you what caught my eye, what surprised me, and some interesting observations I've made. So immediately, without making you guys wait, let me just say, I think Jake Paul won. And as much as it hurts me to see Anderson Silva lose, I think Jake Paul definitely won. And he won by utilizing his jab, he won by having that knockdown in the last round, and he won with loads and loads of body shots which set up some power punches later. Again, I love Silva, but he just didn't land as much. I mean, he had quite a few power shots, uppercuts worked for him, but unfortunately it seemed like the uppercut was the one of the only things that worked for him. We are talking about Anderson Silva, the counter striker, and he didn't counter strike in the entire fight. I mean, look at this. I'll show the images on the screen. Jake Paul overextended so many goddamn times. He was throwing punches trying to take Silva's head off. He was swinging for the fences, and Anderson Silva didn't counter it properly once. And we all know in the UFC, he would just move backwards, and boom, slip a punch, you're done. In this boxing fight, he couldn't do much moving backwards. Most of his success, if not all of it, was made going forward, which is very, very strange for Anderson Silva. So I was completely lost for what was happening. Like, I still don't understand where the counter striking went, and Silva was throwing power looping punches. I mean, Silva doesn't throw those. Silva was always a sniper. Boom, straight in the head, done. He was never ever looping with crazy power punches. He was doing it in this fight. I don't know, you can always say, oh, it's because it's boxing, oh, it's his age. I mean, it just doesn't explain it, so I don't know why he did that, but that lost him the fight, I'm pretty sure. But to give credit to what Silva did, he seemed to have, as I said, the most success when he was putting Jake under pressure, because it seemed Jake was getting lost under pressure. It seemed every time Anderson Silva would back him up against the ropes, it seemed like Jake Paul would get lost, whether he should go left or right, and he would get confused, he would make weird steps, cross his legs, he would try to initiate clinches all the time, and also weirdly duck his head down, which would expose him for uppercuts, which is the most powerful punch of Anderson Silva in this fight, because Jake was trying to escape the clinches, escape the tight spaces, so he would duck his head down, and Anderson Silva would just boom, uppercut from below. So yeah, that's one thing Jake Paul has to fix if he actually wants to fight younger guys who are actually boxers. He needs to figure out what he has to do when he's under pressure, except clinching, because clinching doesn't always work. So you can't just dip your head down, expose yourself to uppercuts. You can't just cross your legs and move weirdly. You have to do something. So that's one point of improvement for Jake Paul, among many others, of course. But now let's give some credit to Jake Paul. As I said, what I think won him the fight is jabs, body shots, and the knockdown. So let's go through them. First of all, jabs. He threw, I believe, 100 more jabs than Anderson Silva. 100 plus more jabs. So he was definitely working behind the jab. He was using it to keep the distance, especially considering how weirdly Anderson Silva moves, right? How weird his footwork is and how good it is. He used the jab to keep the distance. He used the jab to control the space. And of course, dealt some damage with them, which Anderson Silva didn't manage to do, so that was great from Paul. Second of all, it's the body shots. For some reason, I don't know if we saw the same fight, but if we saw the same fight, seemed like Anderson Silva just didn't block body shots. I don't know why. He was exposing his body fully. I don't know if it transition from MMA to boxing has something to do with it, old age. I have no idea, but he wasn't blocking body shots, so Jake Paul really, I believe, compromised them, and I believe body shots are why Anderson Silva almost gassed out near the end. Because people say, oh, why did he get tired? It's so not typical of him. Well, body shots, man. Body shots make you tired. And of course, finally, the knockdown. I mean, you can't deny that. It was really nice. It was left jab, then right overhand, boom, directly on the nose. Knock Silva down to his knee. I mean, nothing more spectacular than that, but considering that's Anderson Silva, and the other opponent is Jake Paul. I mean, come on. I think he was great. Let's give Jake his credit. I think he's biting more than he can chew by calling out Canelo. He needs to relax a bit. However, I think he is doing great. I think he's actually an okay boxer. I don't think he's a joke as people think he is. I mean, he's a young man, 25 or so years old, with so much money, and he pours all that money and time into training boxing seriously. You can't dismiss him. You simply cannot dismiss him. I think he's a fighter, whether people like to admit it or not. He just needs to slowly step up his competition. Ideally, his next step would be to fight an actual boxer so he can shut up the haters, because people are saying he hasn't fought a boxer yet, which is true, and that's why he needs to go and do it. But let's think about it also. He's 5-0. I mean, who do other boxers fight when they're 5-0, right? His sixth fight ever, he fights Anderson Silva, even though he's old. That's pretty good. Even though he's cocky, even though he can get annoying at times. Not at times, he can get annoying very, very often. Look, the kid can fight. Let him fight. I want to see him fight an actual boxer next time. Doesn't have to be a world title level boxer, but give him someone. But as much as I want that, I think that will be unlikely because a lot of boxers are not that famous, right? So who would they give to him that will make numbers, that will make money, right? Who's the opponent that has a name that he can fight that's an actual boxer? Aside from maybe Tommy Fury, Canelo's a bit too much. So who else? Who has a name, can drag pay-per-view numbers, and is also a real boxer? I mean, I don't know. But that's it. These are my opinions on the fight. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of next videos, so I can pop up in your recommendations, support the channel, and see you in the next one. Peace.